This breaks down in multiple different ways immediately as you review the case. So they go on to say here, this is from the judge in the Southern District of New York. There is nothing in the AEA, Alien Enemies Act, that justifies finding that refugees migrating from Venezuela or Tren de Aragua gangsters who infiltrate the migrants are engaged in an invasion or predatory incursion. They do not seek to occupy territory, to oust American jurisdiction from any territory, or to ravage territory. Tren de Aragua may well be engaged in narcotics trafficking, but that is a criminal matter, not an invasion or predatory incursion. So in other words, Trump is waging war on the English language and the meaning of words. When you pretend like we could even be at war with a Venezuelan gang, and you pretend like it's been proven that these people are in a Venezuelan gang, and when you just look at any standard definition of the term war, none of this is a war. They could be totally criminal matters, if even that, because again, many of these people are not even involved in crimes. But the failure actually goes even one level deeper. You ready for this? The U.S. intelligence community has declassified its joint assessment from last month, which finds that Venezuela's Maduro does not direct the Tren de Aragua prison gang and probably does not have a policy of coordinating with Tren de Aragua. You know who is working with violent criminal gangs? Trump's favorite dictator, Nayib Bukele from El Salvador. He literally cut a deal with MS-13. So he is working with gangs. They're saying here, Venezuela and Maduro have nothing to do with Tren de Aragua, and there's no coordination between them. So again, on the basic facts of the case, this is getting blown out of the courtroom in the most embarrassing way imaginable. Every judge, Republican, Democrat, Independent, far right, far left, everyone that looks at it is like, we're not at war. There's no evidence these people are even in Tren de Aragua. If we grant you that you could invoke the Alien Enemies Act over Tren de Aragua, which we don't, so what the fuck are you doing? So again, we're at a super dangerous point in history now because think about it. Like we just said, this is the fourth court to rule. And let's also be clear, they're not ruling in a procedural way. They're not nitpicking over procedure. They're ruling on the substance. And on the substance, they're saying, no, nope, you can't do this. Every judge, nope, can't do this. 4 judges. And as we sit here and we're talking, are they reversing their policy? Are they bringing back the innocent people that they sent? Are they doing anything in an attempt to comply with the law of the United States of America, with the judicial branch and their rulings? I could not have predicted this, right? I could not have predicted a scenario like this where the judicial branch is really doing their job effectively day after day after day. And it's just like radio silence from the regime as they keep committing crime after crime after crime. I said it before, I'll say it again. I hope there's somebody out there or multiple people out there, Jack Smith or somebody like Jack Smith, who are meticulously detailing every single crime, every single unconstitutional action, every single violation of a court order, because we need to have a day of reckoning. We need to have consequences for these actions. We need to have justice. We need to make sure that something like this can never happen again. Everybody that's part of this criminal regime, when they're gone, they should all be criminally charged, because it's not particularly close as to whether or not they're doing criminal actions. They're effectively kidnapping and human trafficking innocent people on a daily basis as the courts scream bloody murder and say none of this is legal, none of this is allowed. So we either do nothing and set ourselves up for a permanent situation where it's might makes right and it's the law of the jungle and there's no constitution and there's no rule of law. Either we do that or we fucking grow a pair and we realize none of this stuff can stand. So I don't know, man. I think it should be a litmus test in 2028 for the Democratic primary, assuming we have free and fair elections, which is a big if. But it should be a litmus test that you need to throw the book and prosecute the shit out of all of these criminals. Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, every single one of them. We need to make an example of every single one of them so that in the future, we rule out the idea of another robber baron coup or fascist takeover, because that's what we're witnessing. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.